Portugal! Nader for Portugal from Wightman on the line! What a run! What a finish!
This underestimated runner from Portugal just shocked the entire track world. Isaac Nader looked up at the scoreboard in Tokyo, and his face showed pure disbelief. He had just beaten some of the best 1,500-meter runners on the planet, and even he couldn't believe what he'd done. The 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo gave us one of the craziest races in track and field history. And trust me, the men's 1,500 meters has seen some wild finishes. But what happened on that hot September night? Nobody saw it coming. Let me take you back to the starting line. 14 men stood ready to race. Big names, past champions, rising stars, and then there was Isaac Nader from Portugal. Most people watching had no idea who he was. He was ranked 8th in the world. He had never won a medal at any major championship, ever, not even as a junior. The odds of him winning? 50-1. That's the kind of number you see on a horse nobody thinks will finish the race. But here's the thing about Isaac Nader. He believed in himself when nobody else did. Before the race, he told himself something simple but powerful. I was either going to finish 14th or I was going to finish 1st. No middle ground, all or nothing. Now, to understand just how crazy this victory was, we need to talk about who wasn't there and what went wrong for the favorites. The field was missing some huge names. Yared Nuguse from America won bronze at the Paris Olympics just a year before. He didn't even make it to Tokyo because he finished 5th at the US Championships. Then there's Jakob Ingebrigtsen from Norway. This guy won Olympic gold in this exact stadium back in 2021. He's a superstar, but he got hurt. His Achilles was bothering him all summer. He tried to race in Tokyo and didn't even make it out of the first round. Gone, just like that. And Cole Hawker, he shocked the world by winning gold in Paris. But in Tokyo, he got disqualified in the semifinals. The officials said he pushed and jostled another runner on the home straight. So he was out too. That left Josh Kerr from Great Britain as the big favorite. Kerr was the defending world champion from 2023. He got silver in Paris. He was strong, confident, and ready. Before the final, he even warned everyone to prepare for a real battle for whoever wants to come and take it off me. He looked relaxed on the starting line. All smiles, but his body had other plans. About 900 meters into the race, something went wrong. Kerr started hopping, then grimacing. His calf seized up. You could see the pain on his face. He kept running, but he was done. He finished dead last, more than 30 seconds behind the other runners. He couldn't even walk up the steps to talk to reporters after the race. It was heartbreaking to watch a champion go down like that. With Kerr struggling, everyone turned their attention to Niels Laros. This 20-year-old kid from the Netherlands was having an amazing season. He had the fastest time in the world in 2025. He won races in Brussels and Zurich with this incredible finishing kick. When he sprinted at the end, nobody could catch him. He was the new favorite. Young, fast, and hungry. But championship racing is different. The pressure is different. And sometimes, what works in regular races doesn't work when the whole world is watching. The other big name in the race was Jake Wightman from Great Britain. Now, Jake's story deserves its own movie. He won the World Championship back in 2022 inches Eugene. But then everything fell apart. In 2023, he fractured his foot. In 2024, he tore his calf, then his hamstring. That ruled him out of the Paris Olympics. Then, in February 2025, he tore his meniscus and needed surgery. Jake is 31 years old. That's old for a middle-distance runner. And he wasn't just dealing with little injuries. These were big ones, 2 months out each time. He said it felt like he had PTSD from all the breakdowns. He would start feeling a little problem and think, here we go again, my season is over. He made a huge decision. He stopped being coached by his dad, Jeff, after 15 years. That had to be hard. He moved from London to Manchester. His new coach? John Hardigan, who happens to be the father of his fiancée, Georgie, they completely changed his training. Fewer miles, more cross-training, less intense sessions. Something that was broken started to work again. But even Jake didn't know if he could still compete at the top level. On the bus going to the heats, he told himself that if he didn't make it through, he was done, finished, retired. The self-doubt was eating him alive. Am I going to be able to do any more in my career? He wondered. I'm 31 years old, am I past it? Then something special happened. In the heats and semifinals, Jake felt like himself again. His fiancée even went to a shrine in Tokyo and got him a good luck cat. His new coach gave it to him during warm-ups. Jake thought, this is heading towards something special. The race started slow, really slow. Laros went to the front early. Timothy Cheruiyot from Kenya, the 2019 world champion, was up there too. Kerr stayed in the middle of the pack. Everything looked calm. Then, around 800 meters in, the Kenyan runners made a move. Timothy Cheruiyot and his teammate Reynold Cheruiyot pushed the pace. The pack started to split, and that's when Kerr's calf gave out. He fell to the back, hopping along in pain. The race was wide open now. Anyone could win. As they came to the bell for the last lap, Timothy Cheruiyot led the pack. Laros was right there. Wightman positioned himself perfectly. Kerr was way back, barely jogging. With 200 meters to go, Wightman made his move. He charged from third place to first. It was the exact same move he used to win gold in 2022. Power, confidence, speed. He came around the final turn and took the lead. Laros couldn't respond. His famous finishing kick never showed up. He started fading. Wightman pumped his arms toward the finish line. His dad, Jeff, was announcing the race over the stadium speakers, just like he did when Jake won in 2022. Jeff was thinking, "This is it. My son is about to become the first man ever to win back the world title, the only one in this era to win two." Jake was running the perfect race. With 50 meters to go, he looked like he had it won. Then, out of nowhere, a blur of red and green came flying down the outside lane. Isaac Nader. He had been sitting in 5th place, way out wide. Nobody was paying attention to him. But in the last 100 meters, he put everything on the line. He ran that final stretch in just 12.28 seconds. Wightman ran it in 12.9. Both were flying, but Nader was faster. Nader later said, "In the last 100, I fully believed in myself. I knew Jake would be fighting until the end, so I went all in for a dive." But it was the first time in his career he had ever done a diving finish. But he wasn't about to lose a world title by being careful. "I couldn't risk losing a world title," he said. Clearly, it paid off in the end. The two men hit the line almost together. Wightman stumbled and crashed to the ground. Everyone looked at the scoreboard. The numbers came up. First place, Isaac Nader, Portugal, 3 minutes, 34.10 seconds. Second place, Jake Wightman, Great Britain, 3 minutes, 34.12 seconds, 0.02 of a second. That's less time than it takes to blink. That's all that separated gold from silver. When Nader saw his name at the top of the board, he couldn't believe it. "Inacreditável," he shouted in Portuguese. "Unbelievable."
Way, got a pretty good start count. Quickly picks up Howard behind him, and then out wide at Kelly. How quick will he be? He's stretching away now. Isn't he beautiful to watch? He did switch off. Oh boy, oh boy.
At just 17 years old, Australian sprinter Gout has done something that few thought possible. He's brought world-class sprinting energy to Australian athletics and sent shockwaves through the global track community. Still in high school, the Queensland teenager has already rewritten national records, clocked wind-assisted sub-10 seconds in the 100 meters, and crushed long-standing 200 meters marks that stood for over half a century. The whispers are already out there. Is this Australia's answer to Usain Bolt? It was a warm evening in Perth when Gout, then just a 17-year-old, lined up for the Australian U20 National Championships. Within seconds of the starter's gun, he stormed down the track, crossing the line in 9.99 seconds, not once, but twice in the same day. While the wind readings 3.5 meters per second and 2.6 meters per second made the times ineligible as official records, they announced something undeniable. Australia had found its next sprinting phenomenon. After his win, Gout grinned and thumped his chest. "That's what I was hoping for," he told reporters. "I didn't get the start I anticipated. It was the kind of confidence, mixed with humility, that hinted at greatness." That same weekend, he went on to dominate the senior men's 200 meters, smashing Peter Norman's legendary 1,968 national record with a run of 20.04 seconds. The mark had stood untouched for 56 years. Months later, in Ostrava, Czech Republic, Gout bettered it again, 20.02 seconds, in his first ever senior international race. In Ostrava, the young Australian looked calm beyond his years. Running against seasoned professionals, Gout exploded out of the curve and powered down the straight, finishing nearly 0.2 of a second ahead of Cuba's Renier Mena. Britain's Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, an Olympic medalist, was left trailing in third. Afterward, Gout smiled and told Reuters, "I feel good. New personal best, new national record in my first European race. I don't feel any pressure. Once I'm on the track, it's just me and what I've got to do, my favorite thing, and that's to run." In that moment, it wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Gout had become the fastest 7-year-old in Australia's history and one of the most promising young sprinters in the world. Born in Ipswich, Queensland in December 2007, Gout is one of 7 children to Dinka parents who fled war-torn South Sudan before settling in Australia. His family's story is one of survival, resilience, and hope. His father, Bona, recalled the name Gout was a transliteration error when the family moved through Egypt, a mistake that stuck but now represents excellence on the world stage. Growing up, Gout played soccer before switching to track, a decision that changed everything. By 14, he had already broken Australian age group records in the 100 meters and 200 meters. By 15, he was clocking 20.87 for 200 meters, earning the Australian U18 title and his first trip overseas for the World U20 Championships in Lima, where he claimed silver in the 200 meters. By 16, he was setting Oceanian U20 records and signing a sponsorship deal with Adidas. The kid from Ipswich had officially become a professional athlete, without even graduating high school. Gout's performances in 2024 hinted at something special, but 2025 made it undeniable. In April, he lined up at the Australian National Championships in Perth. Despite 2 false starts and a nervous atmosphere, he blasted to a 19.84-second 200 meters, only to see the wind reading plus 2.2 meters per second erase its legality. Still, he smiled, saying, "It's definitely frustrating. I run fast times, but the wind is not on my side. Hopefully one day the wind will be great." It was more than optimism, it was prophecy. Just weeks later, in Europe, he delivered the legal 20.02 that shattered expectations once again. His new mark not only broke his own national record but also the Oceanian record, placing him among the top teenage sprinters in world history. At only 17, Gout has achieved what most athletes dream of their entire lives. To put it in perspective, by his age, even Usain Bolt hadn't yet run faster. When the World Athletics Championships began in Tokyo in September 2025, all eyes were on the teenager from Queensland. The youngest man ever selected for Australia's senior team, Gout took to the track alongside sprint giants like Letsile Tebogo and Brian Level. In his semifinal, he surged from 7th to finish 4th in 20.36 seconds, narrowly missing a spot in the final. Despite the heartbreak, he was all smiles afterward. "I couldn't be prouder," he said. "Obviously, I was aiming for that sub-20, but today wasn't the day. God didn't allow it today, but I know for sure in the future it's going to come." And then came the quote that made headlines.
I can keep running, and I know that if I can do this at 17, I can do this at 25 as well, and I'll be even better at 25, so it's definitely great to know.
Bolt is here.
It was the kind of perspective that sets future legends apart: patience, faith, and fire. For all his speed, what makes Gout truly special is his mindset. Balancing elite training with schoolwork, he's known as a disciplined and thoughtful student, even expressing interest in studying psychology. His coaches describe him as calm, analytical, and focused. That maturity is rare. In a sport that often swallows young talent too soon, Gout's grounded approach gives him staying power. It's impossible to talk about Gout without mentioning Usain Bolt. The similarities are uncanny, both tall and smooth striding, both dominant as teenagers, and both from backgrounds defined by resilience. But Gout, ever humble, avoids the hype. Still, the numbers speak for themselves. Bolt's U18 world best over 200 meters was 20.13. Gout ran 20.04 at 16. Bolt's U20 world lead before his 18th birthday was 19.93. Gout's trajectory is right there, and his ceiling might be even higher. Australia hasn't had a global sprinting icon since Peter Norman, the 1,968 Olympic silver medalist who famously stood beside Tommy Smith and John Carlos during the Black Power salute. For decades, the nation's athletic glory has come in distance running, swimming, and field events, not sprinting. Gout has changed that. His performances have reignited a national conversation about sprinting's future down under. Track legend Bruce McAvaney called this generation Australia's golden age of athletics and hailed Gout as the spark this sport has been waiting for. And it's not just about speed. Gout's story, the son of refugees, representing his new homeland with pride, resonates deeply with Australians. His smile, humility, and gratitude make him as inspiring off the track as he is on it. After his World Championships debut, Gout announced he'd be taking a short break to focus on his final school exams before returning to training. That balance between ambition and responsibility speaks volumes about who he is. Even with Adidas contracts, international fame, and record-breaking runs, he remains grounded. the kid from Ipswich who just loves to run. His long-term goals? Breaking 20 seconds legally, representing Australia at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, and one day, perhaps, becoming the fastest man on Earth. And given how fast he's already going, it's only a matter of time. Gout has already carved his name into athletics history, the youngest Oceanian record holder, the youngest Australian World Championship sprinter, and one of the youngest men ever to run under 10 seconds, wind-assisted. His journey embodies the perfect blend of raw talent, discipline, and destiny. So, when fans and pundits call him the next Bolt, maybe they're right, or maybe Gout is something different altogether, the first Gout.
Duala, bene anche Alice Pagliarini, forza Kelly, adesso resistere a questo finale. Kellyanne Duala vince la medaglia d'oro 11:21, eguagliando la miglior.
This 15-year-old girl from Italy is running faster than almost every woman in her country ever has. While most kids her age are thinking about homework and hanging out with friends, she's breaking records that nobody has touched in years. Her name is Kellyanne Duala, and in 2025, she did something nobody thought was possible. She became the youngest person ever to win the European Under-20 Championship in the 100 meters. And here's the crazy part. She's still got 4 more years before she even turns 20. Kelly was born on November 20th, 2009, in a small city called Pavia in northern Italy. Her parents came from Cameroon in Africa, and they had no idea their daughter would one day become one of the fastest teenagers in the world. When Kelly was little, she tried everything. She swam in pools, she played tennis, she kicked soccer balls around, but nothing felt quite right. Then, when she was 10 years old, she tried running, and that's when everything changed. By the time Kelly was 11, she was already faster than kids years older than her. She ran 60 meters in 7.94 seconds. To understand how fast that is, try running the length of a basketball court in less than 8 seconds. It's really, really fast. But Kelly didn't just run straight. She also jumped. She became so good at long jump that she could leap more than 6 meters through the air. That's longer than a small car. Still, running was what she loved most.
La partenza, Kellyanne Duala fa tutto da solo, né Castellani né Succo, nulla può contro Kellyanne Duala.
Now here's where her story gets interesting. Kelly's mom really loves a famous runner from Jamaica named Kellyanne Fraser-Pryce. Fraser-Pryce won gold medals at the Olympics not once, but twice. She's one of the greatest sprinters ever. Kelly's mom loved her so much that she gave Kelly the middle name Ann, just like Fraser-Pryce. Kelly told reporters about this, saying her mom is a big fan of Kellyanne Fraser-Pryce, so her middle name is also Ann. She said she has always been following Fraser-Pryce since she was a little kid. When Kelly turned 14 in 2024, she decided it was time to start breaking records. In February, she ran the 60 meters indoors in just 7.27 seconds. This broke an Italian record that had been standing since 2002, before Kelly was even born. Think about that. A record that lasted 22 years, and a 14-year-old girl just smashed it. But Kelly wasn't done. That same year, she kept getting faster. She ran 80 meters in 9.39 seconds. Then she ran 100 meters in 11.7 seconds. Then even faster at 11.52 seconds. Every time she raced, she got better.
The stand is absolutely packed here in Finland, and Duala is up. Also running well, Pagliarini. Oh, but Duala, she's in a class of her own.
Then came 2025, and this is when Kelly truly shocked everyone. In January, Kelly went to a big indoor race in a city called Ancona. She lined up for the 60 meters, and when the gun went off, she flew down the track. When she crossed the finish line, the clock showed 7.23 seconds. The crowd went wild. She had just run the fastest 60 meters ever by any European teenager under 18. But she still wasn't satisfied. 3 weeks later, at the Italian Junior Championships, Kelly ran even faster. This time, she clocked 7.19 seconds. This made her not just the fastest teenager, but the second fastest Italian woman of all time, at any age. The only people faster than her were full-grown adult athletes who had been training for years. The president of Italian athletics, a man named Stefano May, knew something special was happening. But he also knew Kelly was very young. He told everyone there would be no pressure on her. He said if Kelly and her coach decided she was ready to compete at the top level, that was fine. But nobody would force her to do anything. They wanted to protect her.